Hello students. Uh, in last class we have discussed about some case studies related to Pakistan, Poland, Chile, Mexico, Zimbabwe, Ghana and Saudi Arabia and Estonia, Fiji, and that time I said that we will discuss about the merits and demerits of democracy. But before adding those points, I would like to add few more case studies so that we should have a clear-cut concept regarding the chapters. I am repeating again that whatever examples that I am explaining, it is related to chapter number 1, democracy in the contemporary world. But syllabus suggested by CBSE for this particular year has omitted this particular chapter number 1. But to understand chapter number 2 better, we should know about some important facts related to chapter number 1. So this is also related to one of the important facts related to chapter number 1. So as you can see, what I have written, it is written about Myanmar. Myanmar is a neighbor country of India, situated to the east of India. It is also called Burma. Old name is Burma. So regarding Myanmar, a very interesting fact is there. Burma earlier was a democratic country. But again there was a military coup. First of all, when did Burma got independence? It is, if I am not mistaken, it is 1948. If I am not mistaken, from the Britain. Like India, Burma was also a colony of Britain. And since Burma was an independent country and having democratic regime. But what had happened in year 1962, there was a coup, and after that there was a dictatorial type of government came in power. It's a non-democratic regime, and that continues for a number of years. In 1990, under lot of pressure, lot of world pressure on the dictatorial government of Burma, the government of Burma decided to conduct election. But again, of all places there. In that particular year, elections has been held. In that election, the party called National League for Democracy, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, says a lady with great jill. Physically, that lady is very lean and thin, but mentally, she is very strong. That lady was leading that party, National League for Democracy, and her party won the election. But on that time, the Burma was under the military rule. The military regime in Burma refused to accept the results of that election. They rejected that election and imprisoned all the leaders related to Aung San Suu Kyi party, including Suu Kyi herself. Suu Kyi spent a number of years in the house arrest. She was not allowed to meet any family member. Even she was unable to meet her husband and her child also. She was under house arrest. And that arrest continued for 13-14 years. But that lady had never gave up for her fight for restoration of democracy in Myanmar. She had been also given Nobel Prize for peace. It is a kind of salute that whole world has given to her effort. And ultimately again under great world pressure, in 2015 election was held. In that election again her party won the majority in both the houses. And then after, her party came in power, and this way democracy has been restored in Myanmar. So today there is an elected government, a democratic government. Now one thing you have to notice. See, these examples are also related to transition phase of democracy. These countries were once upon a time a democratic country, but after that they become non-democratic and again they become democratic. How? It is the will of the people. People living in those countries, they started their revolt, a kind of movement for restoration of democracy. So you have to also notice that there is something that attracts people. There is something through which people satisfied under democratic regime. Otherwise, why people will start their movement against dictatorship and a military regime? Why? Because something that they were not getting and that they were getting in democracy. So these are the things that makes democratic government something special. Democracies are having some special features. So now again we are going to discuss two more examples related to international organizations. We are going to examine whether democracy is also at the global level. Means, do we have any international organization working on the democratic principle? Can you tell me some international organizations? Yes, come on. Okay, no problem. I am giving you the clue. Have you heard about UNO? United Nations Organizations? Established in 1945. That organization was one of the leading international organizations working for world peace and security and betterment of the human society. We will examine, we will see whether this organization, means UNO, is really working on the democratic principle. Second, we will also take the example of International Monetary Fund. These are the two important organizations. Even World Bank is also. So in that connection, we will see whether such kind of organizations playing a very important role at the global level, at the international level, are they really democratic? Are they really follow the principle of democracy? So next, we will discuss about the UNO. Now next, UNO. As you know that UNO stands for United Nations Organization, established on 24th October 1945 in the background of the Second World War. And the basic objective of UNO is maintaining international peace, security, promote good standard of life, prosperity and welfare for the society. But one thing that we have to remember, UNO's real power lies in UN Security Council. There are number of wings comprising UNO, but out of those wings, UN Security Council is the center of power. Actually, whatever decisions are being implemented by UNO, those decisions have been approved by UN Security Council. UNO at present having nearly 193 members. They all belongs to General Assembly. Whenever any issue comes for discussion, all the members sit together as a part of the General Assembly and discuss and pass the resolution. But until or unless Security Council will not approve those decisions taken by 193 members cannot be implemented. One more interesting point. UN Security Council comprising altogether 15 members. How many? 15. And out of 15, 5 are permanent and 10 are elected for 2 years. So real power lies to the hands of the permanent members. How many permanent members are there? 5. USA, England, France, China and Russia. You have to remember. In NTSC question, it may be asked. One more thing. These permanent members are having veto power, that special power, according to which if any of the country exercise its veto power either in favor or against any proposal, those decisions shall not be approved. If any of the member uses veto power against any decisions, that decision cannot be implemented, even though decisions are being taken by 193 members. Even out of 193, if we minus these 5 countries, still we are having 188 countries. So 188 countries have been taking a decision, and if any of these countries or these 5 countries are not in the favor of that decision cannot be implemented. What we will get? We get that these 5 members are having extraordinary power, that is called veto power. And the rest of the countries do not have that power. Even these 10 members that are elected for 2 years, that are the part of the Security Council, they don't have any power. So real power lies in the hands of the UN Security Council. So functioning of UNO is just against the principle of democracy. Democracy based upon the principle of equality. And over here, member countries do not have equal powers. These 5 members were enjoying privilege, while rest of the members don't have any power. UNO has to take any decision until or unless the Security Council will not approve those decisions. So, UNO is just a kind of follower of UNO Security Council. इसके पास रियल पावर नहीं है. रियल पावर किसके पास? यूएन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल के पास. तो ये 5 मेंबर्स हैं. तो यहां देख सकते हैं कंप्लीट वायलेशन ऑफ प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इक्वालिटी, दैट इज द बेसिक प्रिंसिपल ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. सो यूएनओ डू नॉट फॉलोइंग द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी. नेक्स्ट वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड एंड वर्ल्ड बैंक. नेक्स्ट इज IMF, इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड. IMF and World Bank. These two organizations are also known as the Bretton Woods institutions. What is the Bretton Woods institutions? इसे हम लोग Bretton Woods twins भी कहते हैं. You will read about this chapter, about this particular topic in class 10 in history. When you will be promoted in class 10, over there you will read about that. So just focus upon IMF, International Monetary Fund. It is one of the leading money lender organization in the world. Whenever any country needs money, that country may borrow money from IMF. At present, IMF is having 173 members. These all members are contributing a sum of money to IMF to create its fund. As far as decision-making power is concerned, that decision-making power lies to the hands of only 7 countries: USA, Japan, France, England, Saudi Arabia, China and Russia. These are the 7 major countries that are possessing more than 50% of voting right, because voting right is weight as per the money contribution by the member countries. These 7 countries are contributing more and more money to the International Monetary Fund, so these countries are enjoying more voting power. Means their voting value is more than the rest of the 166 member countries. So at one side 166 countries enjoying very less power, they are having very little say. बहुत थोड़ा अधिकार है किसी डिसीजन मेकिंग में अपनी बात रखने का, जबकि मुख्य रूप से आईएमएफ किनकी उंगलियों पे नाचती है? तो ये 7 देशों के उंगलियों पे। इनमें से 7 में सबसे जो मेजर पावर है वो यूएसए। वास्तव में ये यूएसए अपनी उंगलियों पे नचाती है। और ये भी बात है, हाल फिलहाल की घटना है, आईएमएफ के जो इनके डायरेक्टर, आप कह सकते हो प्रेसिडेंट, इनको रिमूव किया गया कुछ माल प्रैक्टिस के कारण। उसके बाद चर्चा हुई कि एशियन देशों ने डिमांड की कि थर्ड वर्ल्ड से इनके अब इस नए प्रेसिडेंट बनाए जाएंगे, बट यूरोपियन कंट्री रेसिस्टेड that the president of IMF must belongs to Europe and or America. This is the scenario. So you can see how these big countries, rich countries, not big and rich, both are there. So they are dominating in decision-making power of IMF. So again, what we find? We find that these IMF, even though an international organization, do not functioning on the basis of equality. Means these organization is not democratic organization. IMF is not a democratic organization, as there is a complete violation of principle of equality. Next we will discuss about World Bank. Students, there is a mistake. I have committed one mistake. A slip of pen is there. It is IMF, International Monetary Fund. So I have wrongly written IFN. So it was a mistake. So now you just make the correction. It should be International Monetary Fund. So now let's move towards the another organization working at international level, global level, that is World Bank. चलिए बच्चों, वर्ल्ड बैंक अपना बैंक नहीं है, दुनिया का बैंक है। अपना बैंक नील पॉकेट फुल ड्रेस, that is the bank. Coming back to the point, World Bank, this is another international organization functioning at the global level. As I have told you, IMF and World Bank are regarded the Bretton Woods twins. Established in 1945, and this World Bank having 189 members. 189 members over there, and out of 189, USA, Japan, China, Germany, UK, France, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Italy, these are the major decision makers. Means they are having more voting powers. And one more thing is there, president of World Bank is always be an American, always अमेरिका का ही होगा। तो ये ध्यान रखना है। ये एस्टैब्लिशमेंट वास्तव में 1944 से है और फंक्शनिंग 1945 से है, इसलिए कई जगहों पे ये कंफ्यूजन होती है, बट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर 44-45। सो नाउ, सो क्या निकल के आया? IMF नो इक्वल वोटिंग राइट, वर्ल्ड बैंक नो इक्वल वोटिंग राइट। तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस फंक्शनिंग एट द ग्लोबल लेवल do not following the principle of democracy. So even though they are comprising so many members, but these members are not being given equal power. So these countries namely USA, Japan, China, Germany, UK, France, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Italy, they are having major proportion of voting power. Even India is also having 2.91% voting power. So India is also a major power, but USA is the major stakeholder. most of the voting rights, major voting rights, lies to the hands of USA, nearly 16-17%. So this way we are gone through various examples related to various countries and few international organizations functioning at the global level, and we have seen these two organizations, IFM and World Bank, are not functioning on the basis of democratic principles. So these organizations cannot be regarded as a democratic institutions. Now what we will do next, we will just draw a major definition of democracy, and then after we discuss about the merits and demerits of democracy. शुरू कर दो तुम.